In this video, I want to show you how a client of mine 100% automated their client onboarding process using Paperform. In doing so, they actually freed up about 30 hours a week. They gave their clients a more consistent experience, and they had the capacity to take on even more clients. Now, a quick caveat to this video, I'm not being sponsored by Paperform in any way, I just think it's a really great tool. But more than that, this is a video that isn't just about Paperform. What I most want to show you in this video is the key decision that this agency took that allowed them to 100% automate their client onboarding. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Sam and I help agency owners unlock their next stage of growth by building systems that scale without them. If you're interested in this video, please do consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss another one, and let's dive right into the video. Step 1, package your services. Now you may have come across the term productized service. This is describing a service that has been standardized to an extent where it is considered a product. Now, a lot of agencies want to do this because it allows you to systematize your operations quite a bit easier, and it simplifies your overall service delivery. But for the majority of agencies who have multiple services, this feels a little bit out of reach. So here's the key decision that this agency took to allow them to automate and still have that level of standardization. And I like to call it the a la carte method. Essentially, they took all of the key services that they were already providing and packaged them into more standard core offers. Each of these offers or each of these services had the same scope, the same pricing and the same timeline, and most importantly, it took the same steps to achieve them. And in the a la carte method, you allow your clients to pick from a menu of services, whether that's service A and B or services A and C, whatever combination they like, and the fulfillment of those services or service is the same every time, just with different combinations. Step 2. Do away with proposals. By making this change, my clients were able to finally say goodbye to proposals. For custom projects, proposals are a must, but unfortunately they're time consuming to create. They require a high level of experience to create, so often this keeps the CEO or founder in fulfillment, and they open up the room for negotiation. So now that my client was able to do away with the proposal, they were able to move on to the next step, which was automating their onboarding process. Step 3. Create a universal order form. So here's what the entire onboarding process looked like, and of course I've created a process map to walk us through this. But you can see at the very start we have share the paper form with the client, which I'll show you in a second. And then as we open up the paper form, highlighted in yellow, we can see the steps that the client needs to do. So first of all, they select the services, they then sign the service agreement, they provide access to any of the accounts that are needed to fulfill the service. They book onto our next strategy call, and finally they pay the invoice. Now, once that is done, Paperform acts as a kind of trigger for our automations, which are highlighted here in grey. So first of all, it updates the records in our CRM. It creates all of the client's Google folders in Google Drive, and it also creates a Slack channel internally for our team. And inside that Slack channel, our team is notified that this client has paid and they're ready to begin onboarding. And of course, our final step here is that we host that strategy call that the client has booked on for us. And here's what that paper form looks like in action. So you can see we first open with a sort of welcome page, and I've just added one of my own videos here, but essentially this is showcasing that you can have some instruction at the start or a welcome message to really improve the experience here. And then this is just explaining that this form takes about 10 minutes to complete and what is going to happen in the form. And as we go through each, I'll show you what happens. So first of all, the client can give their details. I'm just going to put in mine here. Then they can move over to the service selection, and you'll see we have two options here. We have one-off services, which in Paperform we can plug in as direct products, and then also we have retainer services, which we can use our Stripe account to create subscriptions, and they'll pull over into Paperform as well. And what's nice about this is if you have some services that are one-off and some that are retainer, the client can actually sign on for both of them within this order form. But let's just say, for example, that they want this particular one here, and then we move on. Then we have the service agreement, which we can fill out here, and we can say, yes, we agree. We can sign the service form here, and then also we can date it with today's date over here. Then we can move on. And now we'll go through to the access request. And what's nice about this access request is it has some internal logic within the form. So based on the services that the client has selected, they are then going to be presented with the access instructions that we need based on that service. So for example, we've just chosen Google Ads. So we're probably going to see lots of Google Ads access instructions that we need to go through. So we can hit next, and we've first asked for this particular one. So I'm just going to put in this as random. Then we have Google Analytics, this, moving on. And you can see in some cases we can add screenshots. We can also add videos to these access instructions. So we can really make this a nice and seamless experience for our clients. So finally, we'll move through to the final step, and that is to book onto our next call or to our onboarding call, our strategy call. And so we can do this all within Paperform as well. So for example, I could say that I want to pick it for tomorrow, and I've got all my schedule already booked into here. So we've finally booked that strategy call, and it's going to send us an email following this. And now the last thing to do is to pay. So I'm going to hit continue, and now it's asking me to go through, add my name, put in my credit card details, and then I can submit this and it will pay via Stripe. So you can see all within the Paperform form, but we've got a really nice experience for our client that is easy for them to fill out, but also achieves all of the things that we typically have to do on our onboarding within 10 minutes. Now this was implemented, it meant this agency could first of all hire new staff for delivery, as the onboarding was so seamless that it was a lot easier to train a team on delivering the actual services. This also meant that we could remove the CEO and the founder from the fulfillment process, and because of this they were freed up to spend time on other areas of the business in terms of business development, opportunities, or even just taking some time off. Now, if you would like to achieve similar results in your agency, you can book a free 30-minute discovery call with my team to see how we could help you scale your agency. And if you found this video useful, you might want to check out my Notion for Agencies template tour, which has been trusted by over 250 different agencies. Thank you so much, and until next time, bye-bye.